Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniX TCG, and today we are going to go over the OP06 Green Yellow Yamato leader and her deck, the most popular used cards, how they interact with each other, and why she is used and feared, at least at the beginning of the OP06 meta. So with that being said, just want to let you guys know that this weekend I will be streaming my run in the PPG Treasure Cup, so if you want to join me on that, come by. I'll have the live stream on the entire tournament, and then on top of that, we'll be doing a lot of more OP06 stuff going into this next couple weeks. It's only really got a month and change until it comes out, so I want to make sure everybody's prepared. And that's pretty much that. I'm going to set this video at 100 likes. That's the like goal. Help it trend, comment, let me know what you guys think. And if you want to join the UniX fam, this is a great time to do it. Just hit that subscribe button. Keep an eye out for further One Piece and Fusion World content, and we will get into it now. So first we have to talk about the leader, Yamato. They are a 5k 4 life leader as per usual for multicolor leaders that cannot attack, or that can attack, sorry. And basically they have double attack and an activate main that says once per turn if your opponent has 3 or less life, attach up to 2 Rested Dawn to one of your characters. Now the funny part is here, we are in a format where multicolor leaders are very good. And so yes, next format you are getting leaders like Gecko Moria thrown into the mix. Uta is still a good deck going into this. Zoro can still ball. Katakuri is definitely still a good deck going into this meta. So yes, you have a couple of people that this isn't going to immediately snowball into a activation or the activate main, but against Sakazuki, against the Mirror, against Enel, against RP Luffy from the Rip, this Yamato leader is going to be able to immediately just pile everything up on the first turn that you can attack. And if you're going first, that means this leader is swinging for 8 and then activating its activate main afterwards. Well, the next turn, or you're going to be swinging for, what is it, just 7 if you're going second. Actually, wow, no, 9 if you're going second. I apologize. So either way, it's just really not that good. And for you guys wondering how that works, it's of course if you're going first, you start off with 1 Dawn, then your next turn you're going to go up to 3 Dawn, and you're putting all the 3 Dawn in your leader and swinging. If you're going second, it's 2, then 2, so you're swinging for 9. So essentially, this leader is going to be able to cause some massive pressure, and just with the effect, you're going to be able to start pumping up a lot of your characters up to a very high level. So with that being said, the next part we're going to go into are the cards that are new out of the next set that really do benefit Yamato as a leader. And yeah, we're just gonna jump right into that. So the first culprit over here, I don't know why they made this card. This is Onami, and this is one of those cards that's just like a head scratcher. Like, you just want to look at it and wonder why. Like, whose idea was this? 2 cost, 3k power, none of this matters. So well, I mean, yes, 3k can be relevant, but yeah, actually can be relevant because it can turn to a 5k with Yamato's leader effect. But the point is, on play, give up to one of your leaders or characters banish for this turn. Okay, so now you'll be able to play Onami and give your leader banish, and then swing with a boosted leader that has double strike. This is going to be a massive issue going into this format. In fact, going second, you can do even worse for these things, because you can go going second, your second turn can be swinging in for 7 with the Onami, and your opponent, if they do not have the ability to counter out of 7, that's just them. That is literally just them going down. And it kind of gets progressively worse, because you can at any point hit your opponent with a double strike or dual attack banish, double attack banish with this card coming out. Now the funniest part about this is not only is it giving a leader or a character banish, it is also having this trigger. KO to one of your opponent's 5 cost or lower characters. Yes, this Nami is a Thunderbolt without having to trash life if it is triggered. Yes, you don't get to be able to cast it for 2 and just KO something, but this is insane. If it comes out of life, you can choose to snipe something or take it to hand because it's got a great effect. This card can only be more busted if it was a 2k, and because it is a 3k stat line, once it's already on the field, if it survives, you can use Yamato's ability to turn it to a 5k to chip 1 more card out of your opponent's hand. There is no reason for this card existing like the way it does. So moving on to the next one, you got Okiku. And Okiku is a 4-cost 6k body. Basically, you're going to see kind of a trend. A lot of these cards are going to revolve around your opponent being at 3 life or less, which is incredibly easy if your opponent's a 4k leader or 4 life leader. Incredibly still easy if your opponent is even a 5k leader. So Okiku right now just says on KO, if your opponent has 3 or less life, place the top card of your deck into the top of your life. Now, while this card is not exactly good against Sakazuki, it's pretty much golden against every other type of card or color in the format, whether, you know, purple's popping it, whether red is popping it. No, you're just gonna get a life. Now, and thinking about Sakazuki, I know a lot of people are gonna go, well, if it's not good against Sakazuki, why would you even run it? That's because this leader inherently 2-taps Sakazuki, almost. Like, yeah, you are literally 2-shotting Sakazuki. This leader is incredibly adept at Sakazuki. Having access to green allows you to tap things down. The first shot against Sakazuki is essentially free, and then you just need to touch them 2 more times. This deck does very well versus that deck. So you can run cards that are just better against the rest of the format without needing to dive too much into, oh, well, Sakazuki bottom decks it. But yeah, Okiku is doing what she does. She is also a 6k, so 1 Dawn puts her as a 7k. The leader effect puts her as an 8k. It's just very strong. Next, you've got a beautiful card. You've got Kazuki Hiori, and this is a 2k 2 cost 0k power 2k counter power. On play, you may put the top or bottom card of your life pile into your hand, then put up to 1 card from your hand on top of your life stack. This is crazy because you are able to actually set up your triggers. This is very, 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 very nice. And it doesn't say face up, so you're really just putting a card down. Yeah, you'll want to use this as 2k, but when you do need to set up that crucial trigger, whether it be an Okiku body, whether it be a Nami body, like is it Nami or Onami? Onami body, whether it be a Veje if you play it, this is it. So yeah. Next, you're going to move over to Mamushi, and Mamushi is a 4-cost 5k power Dawn X2. This character can attack your active characters, and he's got trigger. If you have a if your opponent has 3 or less life cards, play this card. I am going to put it right out here. I do not like half these triggers because even discarding 1 card was not a fair trade for a 4-cost body. These are just happening because you happen to swing on your opponent once or maybe twice if they're a monocolor leader. This is actually insane and borderline asinine. So this card is coming out and he is laughing at your opponent just like that. And by using Yamato's leader effect, you're going to be able to attack your opponent's active characters. This potentially is just very wild. You get this guy out as a trigger, you play Onami. Onami gives your leader banish. You put the 2 Dawn, you activate main, put the 2 Dawn under Mamushi, and then Mamushi can now swing at your opponent's blocker for 7k, and then you can just swing with the double strike banish afterwards. Double attack, dual attack. Yeah, it's honestly a little bit crazy. Next, we are going to look at the Inashi card. And Inashi is another 4-cost. He has the same trigger effect as Mamushi and 5k. And basically, Dawn X2, when attacking, you may discard 1 card from your hand, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the number of your opponent's current life cards. So it's got Gadatsu on a stick. It's swinging for 7k. Now, the cool thing is, because this happens when attacking, you'll be able to blow up something and then, you know, deal that life damage afterwards. But really, by the time this guy can come on the board, you're really just kind of popping 3 costs or less, sometimes 4 costs or less. But most of the time, it's going to be 3 costs or less just with the way this leader does damage. But still, free bodies are free bodies, and free bodies can go up to 7k easily, or just good. And then next, we have got a Kazuki Momonosuke. Spoilers if you haven't finished that part in the anime yet or the manga, but yeah, Momo. So basically, you've got the blocker, and then on play, place up to 1 of your Wano type characters other than Kazuki Momonosuke at the top or bottom of your owner's life pile face up. So you can reset up these triggers like Onami. I mean, some of these you don't want to actually trigger, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, because like some of these are just gonna be good as bodies on the board. The Inashi and the Mamushi and the Okiku are just good as bodies on board. But resetting the Onami and knowing your opponent's gonna have to play around it because it's gonna blow up something, or resetting up a Kazuki Hiori to get it back to your hand in case you would like to reset up your life or just have the 2k is very, very, very nasty. He's also a blocker and a 6k one at that, but if you do decide to swing with him, you can always put him up to 8k. This is just overall a good card. And then next, kind of returning, but clearly in this archetype, you've got Yamato herself as a boss card in her own deck now. And we all should know the effect of Yamato by now. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the total of your and your opponent's life cards. Then if you have one or less life cards, add up to one card from the top of your deck, the top of your life cards. So you're going to be just gaining a life if you play them on one, and then you're also going to be able to have this massive body. It's a Land of Wano card, so it fits into the theme quite nicely. Speaking of Land of Wano cards, we are also going back to set 1. You have the Kazuki Momonosuke search card. Notice most of these search cards do not have to specify a color. So this guy is going to be able to search out all those cards we just talked about. And it's one of the main reasons why Yamato being a green leader is so good for their deck, because this is going to be able to search out everything. Now, when we go over to boss cards, you do have Yamato as a boss card in their own deck, but a lot of people are playing OP06's Roronoa Zoro. You have a 9 cost 9k body. When attacking once per turn, you may rest the specified number of Dawn in your cost area, set this character active. So for 1, this guy attacks twice. For 2, he attacks a 3rd time. This is very, very, very much so in line with his Ashura techniques. But this is just very, very cool. You're gonna be able to swing up to 3 times with a 9 cost. And then on top of that, it just gets worse from here on out, because let's say your opponent has guarded their life very, very strongly. If you play this Roronoa Zoro, you can then you can play, like, you have to see some of these things. The craziness is it Onami doesn't have to count a Wano creature, a yellow battle card. So, or sorry, wow, so many games, yellow character. So you can really play Onami for 2. Give Roronoa Zoro banish. Give Roronoa Zoro the 2 Dawn that you used to cast Onami, making it an 11k swinger, and it can swing at minimum for 11k 3 separate times with banish. That is just so insane. Allowing your leader to try to finish off, or whatever else you have on field to finish off. This is just too much. And like I said, it is another card that doesn't really do that well against Sakazuki, but this deck naturally mises Sakazuki so hard that it almost doesn't even matter. So yeah, you want to be able to use this in conjunction with the Onami effects. You can always make him stronger with Yamato. And so yeah, it's just overall a very, very good card. Now, when it comes to defensive cards, we have a lot we can go over, but a lot of the cards that come into the deck most are Elthor, because Elthor just requires your opponent to have 2 or less life cards, meaning that by the time you want to defend against bigger swings, this should always be live. Elthor should always be live in your Yamato deck. And then its KO effect is much like Yamato. It's much like, what is the other card? Yamato and Inashi. You are able just to blow up something based on how many life your opponent has. Then of course you have the 200 million volts Amaru, just a good card to get blockers out of the way and swing for massive. When your leader does double strike, it is not a bad idea to be able to move a blocker out of the way and then give your leader plus like for 3k. Also, even on your Zoro, like, once again, Zoro is that dude. Can you imagine the turn where you go, okay, I am going to have Zoro on the board. Now I'm going to use 200 million volts Amaru to tap that blocker, and I'm going to give it to Zoro. Now I'm going to play it again and tap your other blocker and give it to my leader. Now I'm going to use my leader to give this Dawn to Zoro or itself, and I'm just going to swing. I'm just going to do that. 12k, 12k, 12k. Because that does work out, I believe. It's going to be, you have your Zoro on the field. Yeah, so it's 4 plus 3. So yeah, that's crazy. You even have more Dawn to work with. But you're going to be able to make these crazy in-game pushes and push your opponent out of the game. This is honestly just a very, very, very strong, like, a very strong just leader. And in all honesty, the only way you really get around how aggressive this leader is being able to stack a lot of blockers in the end game with a low life total, and that can be very, very hard. So I do think that we're going to be seeing a lot of Yamato decks. Sorry, trying to refocus my camera. I do think we're going to be seeing a lot of Yamato decks, because Global tends to like aggressive decks. They tend to like that sort of flow, that rhythm, that hustle. We should be seeing a lot of it. On top of that, you should actually be able to, I mean, we're going to talk later about how the meta goes, but there are also other variants. This is the mainly yellow Land of Wano variant. You can also find things like a more of a set 1, maybe set 2 Kid type vibe, because Kid was a very aggressive leader surrounded by a very defensive slash utility based deck, and this can do the same thing. Yamato is a very aggressive leader, and they can have a very, very defensive deck based in green. You also have a deck that actually focuses on the Fishman archetype, believe it or not, and is actually pretty cool too, using the cards like Cody Jones and the Fishman Searcher and some of those cards in order to keep like another engine in there that works very, very nicely as well. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed talking about this deck. As this goes over, we're gonna have more videos breaking down like, you know, potential deck lists. I'm gonna have more Patreon articles, doing a little bit of prep work for this Treasure Cup this weekend and next weekend. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and like I said, great time to join the UniX fam. We're gonna be doing a lot of cool things. Make sure to tune in for our set 1, our OP06 case break. It's gonna be happening a little later because I gotta get the box from a different place, but it's gonna be happening probably within a week of the set happening. So with that being said, thank you guys. I will see you in the next video, and let's go over to the Patreon appreciation spot. All right, welcome back to the Patreon appreciation bit of the channel. This is just saying thank you to everybody that goes that extra mile to help out the channel, help out the brand. On this Patreon, you're gonna be finding articles that are a little too long to put on the channel in terms of deep dives. Now, I am going to be doing an UTA video. I'm trying to line that up for this weekend when it will be the first legal event for it. We are also doing a double UTA starter deck giveaway, as well as a giveaway for Dragon Ball Super Fusion World involving 2 full art starter deck SRs. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. And then we want to give a special vocal shout out to the members of the Realm of X tier, the Burars, the Bricars, the Big Daddy Flapjacks. Thank you guys for going the extra mile, and thank you guys all for being a part of this. I'll see you in the next video and or article. Later.